Ladies and gentlemen, there's something extraordinary about a smart woman who knows her worth and walks with grace. She doesn't stumble over the noise of the world because she follows principles that elevate her. These aren't just rules, they are pillars for building a life that's unshakable. Let me share with you 4 rules that every smart woman abides by. Protecting your peace is one of the most profound commitments you can make in life. It's not something that comes easily, nor is it something that can be taken for granted. The world will always try to pull you in different directions to weigh you down with stress, distractions, and demands. But a smart woman knows that peace isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the very foundation that allows her to thrive in a world that's often unpredictable and chaotic. Peace isn't a passive thing. It's not something you sit back and wait for. It's something you build layer by layer, day by day. It requires discipline, awareness, and the ability to choose what you allow into your life. A woman who knows her value understands that the energy she surrounds herself with is just as important as the goals she sets. If you want to accomplish anything meaningful, you have to start by protecting the inner calm that gives you the strength to keep going. The first step in protecting your peace is learning the art of saying no. Many women feel pressure to please others, to take on obligations, or to give in to demands that leave them exhausted and resentful. But saying no is not a weakness, it's a strength. It's a way of saying, I respect myself enough to know that I can't pour from an empty cup. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. No one deserves to take from your peace without giving anything back in return. Saying no when it's necessary is an act of self-love, a declaration that your peace is more important than anyone's expectations. Protecting your peace also means recognizing what and who drains you. There will always be people who thrive on negativity, drama, and conflict. These are the ones who seek to disturb your inner harmony, either through their words, actions, or attitudes. A smart woman knows when to distance herself from those whose energy only brings chaos. She doesn't allow herself to be dragged into battles that aren't hers to fight. And that takes strength, not avoidance, but the strength to choose peace over turmoil. Your mental health is another vital aspect of your peace. It's easy to let stress, anxiety, or the demands of life cloud your mind, but the strongest women understand that their mental health is their power. They make time for reflection, for rest, for nurturing their minds as much as they nurture their bodies. Taking care of your mental health doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. The clearer your mind, the stronger your focus, and the better your decisions. Peace of mind is where true resilience begins. And perhaps the most important part of protecting your peace is realizing that it's your responsibility. No one can protect your peace for you. You are the keeper of your own calm. There will always be noise. There will always be challenges. But when you are grounded in your peace, you can move through the storm without losing your center. You don't allow the external world to dictate how you feel. You choose your response, and in doing so, you maintain control over your emotional state. In the end, protecting your peace isn't just about keeping the chaos at bay. It's about creating a space within yourself where you can grow, thrive, and be the best version of who you are meant to be. The world can be demanding, but when you are at peace, nothing can break you. And that's where your true power lies. There's a unique power in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. In a world where everyone seems to have something to say, the ability to listen, to observe, and to choose your words carefully is a skill that many overlook. But it's one of the most potent tools you can possess. A smart woman understands that silence is not emptiness. It's a form of strength, a signal of awareness, and a way to navigate through life with purpose and precision. In a world that constantly demands your attention and validation, speaking less doesn't mean you have nothing to contribute. In fact, it often means you have everything to contribute. There's wisdom in restraint, knowing that not every thought needs to be shared and not every moment requires a response. It's in the stillness where real clarity is born. When you speak less, you leave room for deeper understanding, for reflection, and for the truths that lie beneath the surface. Listening more is where true growth happens. It's in those quiet moments when you stop talking and start paying attention that you begin to truly learn, not just about others, but about yourself. People reveal more in their silences, in their expressions, and in their actions than they do in the words they choose. The art of listening means you hear not just the spoken words, but also the unspoken ones, the emotions, the fears, the desires. A smart woman knows that listening isn't just about hearing someone's words, it's about understanding their intent, their heart, their story. The beauty of silence is that it gives you the space to respond rather than react. When you're always speaking, always filling the air with your thoughts, you lose the opportunity to pause and consider the right course of action. Reacting is often fueled by emotion or impulse, but responding is born from wisdom and discernment. In those moments of quiet, you have time to reflect, to measure your words, and to ensure that what you say is aligned with your truth and your values. People who speak less often have more influence than those who speak constantly. This isn't about trying to be mysterious or withholding information, it's about recognizing that your words hold weight. Every time you speak, make it count. The more selective you are with your words, the more people will listen when you do choose to speak. There's a certain magnetism that comes with quiet confidence, the kind that attracts attention without effort, the kind that draws people in because they want to hear what you have to say. And when you do speak, your words will carry more power because they've been carefully chosen, thought out, and delivered with intention. Silence also gives you the ability to filter out the noise of the world. In a society that celebrates constant chatter, it's easy to get lost in the noise. The constant pressure to have an opinion, to weigh in on every conversation, can be exhausting. But when you choose silence, you create space for yourself to think, to breathe, and to just be. You don't have to participate in every conversation or argument. Not everything demands your attention or approval. And by not getting caught up in every issue or drama, you preserve your peace and mental clarity. A smart woman knows the value of silence as a tool of empowerment. She knows that what she holds back can be just as powerful as what she chooses to express. She also understands that sometimes the most profound messages are communicated without a single word. It's the pause between words, the look in her eyes, the way she carries herself that says more than 1,000 speeches ever could. In a world that celebrates noise, she remains unshaken, calm, and steady, letting her actions and her silence speak louder than any words could. The ability to speak less and listen more is a sign of maturity, wisdom, and inner strength. It's an understanding that true influence doesn't come from being the loudest in the room, but from knowing when to speak and when to be still. When you master this balance, you carry yourself with a quiet confidence that others can't help but notice. And in the silence, you find the answers you've been searching for. Setting boundaries is a powerful act of self-respect. It's one of the clearest ways to show the world that you value yourself, your time, and your well-being. But there's an art to it, a quiet, steadfast strength that lies in knowing when to stand firm and when to walk away. A smart woman understands this well. She knows that without boundaries, there's no true peace, no room for growth, and no space for what really matters in life. Boundaries are not about pushing people away, they're about making room for yourself. The world will always be full of demands, people who want your time, your energy, and your attention. But a woman who knows her worth realizes that she cannot be everything to everyone. She can't pour from an empty cup. And so she sets limits, not to be difficult, but to protect what is hers, her time, her mental space, and her inner peace. She understands that by saying no to things that don't serve her, she is saying yes to herself, to her own growth, and to her own well-being. Setting boundaries also means recognizing your value. When you truly understand who you are and what you stand for, you'll realize that some requests, demands, or expectations are beneath you, or at the very least not worth your time. The truth is, when you set boundaries, you let people know how to treat you. Without clear limits, others may unknowingly, or sometimes knowingly, take advantage of your time, your generosity, and your spirit. A woman with healthy boundaries doesn't tolerate mistreatment, disrespect, or exploitation. She knows that the energy she gives out must be reciprocated in a way that honors her. And if it isn't, she has the courage to walk away. There's an incredible strength in saying no. It's a word that's often misunderstood, especially by those who feel obligated to say yes to every request, every invitation, every favor. But no is not a rejection of others, it's a redirection of your energy toward what truly matters. Saying no doesn't make you unkind, it makes you clear about your priorities. It says, I am worthy of my own time and energy, and if that means stepping away from something or someone that drains you, then so be it. A smart woman knows that her no is a statement of self-respect, not selfishness. But boundaries don't just protect you from external demands, they also protect you from yourself. Often we push ourselves too hard, take on too much, or ignore our own needs in the name of productivity or ambition. Setting boundaries means drawing a line in the sand between your responsibilities and your personal needs. It's about taking the time to rest, to recharge, and to make sure that your own well-being doesn't get lost in the hustle of life. A woman who understands this balance knows that her success, her happiness, and her health depend on her ability to respect her own boundaries. Walking this path takes courage. It's not always easy to stand firm, especially when others don't understand or when society pushes us to overextend ourselves. But the woman who knows her worth is unwavering in her commitment to her own boundaries. She doesn't apologize for needing space, for saying no, or for protecting her peace. She understands that by setting boundaries, she's not just protecting herself from others, she's creating the conditions for her own growth. She's preserving the energy that will allow her to be the best version of herself, to contribute to the world in meaningful ways, and to be there for the people who truly matter in her life. Ultimately, boundaries are an act of love, not just for others, but for yourself. They're an acknowledgement that you deserve respect, time, and space to be who you truly are. And when you live by that understanding, when you have the strength to draw those lines, you open the door to a life that's not only more peaceful, but more purposeful. You make room for the things that align with your goals, your values, and your deepest aspirations. And in doing so, you create a life that honors your worth, your time, and your peace. Growth is not just a process, it's a commitment, a decision to never remain stagnant in the face of life's challenges. A smart woman understands that change is inevitable, but it's how she chooses to navigate it that defines her. She doesn't shy away from the unknown or resist the transformation that's calling her forward. Instead, she embraces growth with open arms, knowing that it is the key to unlocking her fullest potential. The world doesn't stop moving, and neither should she. Life will test her in ways that she can't anticipate, throwing obstacles in her path that seem insurmountable at times. But these challenges aren't there to break her. They are there to build her. They are the soil from which her strength, resilience, and wisdom will grow. A smart woman sees every difficulty as an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to evolve. Each setback is a lesson, and each triumph is a confirmation of her ability to rise above it. She knows that growth doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in discomfort. In the moments when she's forced to stretch beyond what she thought was possible. To keep growing means to remain curious, to never stop learning, and to always seek new ways to improve herself. She understands that there is always room for more knowledge, more experience, more wisdom. No matter how far she's come, there is always a next step, a next level of growth waiting to be reached. Whether it's learning a new skill, pursuing a new passion, or stepping outside her comfort zone, a smart woman knows that growth is a lifelong pursuit. She isn't afraid to start over, to try again, or to reinvent herself, because she knows that every phase of life is an opportunity for rebirth. There is also a profound wisdom in understanding that growth often requires letting go. Letting go of old habits, old beliefs, and sometimes even old relationships. The person you were yesterday may not be the person you need to be today. A smart woman recognizes that growth means shedding the weight of the past in order to step into a future that's limitless. She doesn't hold on to things that no longer serve her, because she knows that to grow, she must make room for what's next. Keeping an open heart and mind is essential to this process. Growth requires humility, the ability to recognize that you don't have all the answers, that there's always something more to discover. A smart woman doesn't let her ego get in the way of her growth. She is willing to admit when she's wrong, to learn from her mistakes, and to ask for help when needed. She understands that growth is not a solitary journey, it's a collective one. The people she surrounds herself with, the mentors, the friends, the colleagues, help her see things she might not have seen on her own. They challenge her, encourage her, and hold up a mirror to her potential. At times, growth will require sacrifice. It will demand that she make hard decisions, choose the long road over the easy one, and push herself beyond what feels comfortable. But that sacrifice is worth it, because on the other side of it is a version of herself that is stronger, wiser, and more capable. The woman who keeps growing is the one who never settles for mediocrity. She keeps striving, keeps reaching, and keeps evolving, because she knows that her journey is never truly complete. Above all, a smart woman understands that growth is not about perfection, it's about progress. She doesn't expect herself to be flawless, but she does expect herself to keep moving forward, to keep getting better, to keep becoming who she was meant to be. Growth isn't about achieving some ideal version of herself, it's about embracing the process of becoming. It's the willingness to face the unknown, to welcome change, and to trust that with every step, she's moving closer to the woman she is destined to become. And in this constant evolution, she finds her true strength not in the destination but in the journey itself. She understands that the growth she experiences on the inside is what truly defines her. No matter what life throws her way, she will continue to grow because growth is not just something she does, it's who she is. It's the fuel that drives her, the force that propels her, and the light that guides her toward the life she was always meant to live. A smart woman knows that taking risks is an essential part of living a full, meaningful life. It's not about being reckless, but about having the courage to step into the unknown, to venture outside of her comfort zone, and to challenge herself in ways that will make her grow. The world is full of opportunities, but they don't always present themselves in ways that are easy or familiar. Growth, success, and fulfillment rarely come without a leap of faith. A woman who understands this is willing to take the risks that others might shy away from, because she knows that without risk, there's no reward. Risk is about more than just the big leaps, the bold moves, or the decisions that change everything overnight. It's also about the small steps, the choices to push past fear, to take on challenges that might seem too daunting at first glance. Every time she steps outside her comfort zone, she's taking a risk. But in doing so, she opens herself up to a world of possibilities she never could have imagined. Whether it's starting a new career, pursuing a passion project, or speaking up when it feels uncomfortable, every risk she takes adds a new layer of strength, wisdom, and resilience to who she is. But taking risks isn't just about gaining something external, it's about transforming herself from the inside out. Each time she chooses to step into the unknown, she builds a new kind of courage, one that doesn't come from being fearless, but from knowing how to face fear and move forward anyway. A smart woman knows that fear will always be there, whispering doubts, creating obstacles, and trying to hold her back. But she doesn't let it control her. Instead, she uses that fear as fuel. She understands that fear is a natural part of growth. It's a sign that she's pushing her limits, that she's on the verge of something bigger than herself. Risk is also about trusting herself, her instincts, and her ability to adapt. It's easy to make choices when everything is clear, when the path is well lit and the direction is obvious. But real growth comes when she's willing to walk down a path that doesn't have a map, to take a chance on something that could lead to failure. And even if that failure comes, she knows that it's not the end, it's simply another step on the journey. She understands that success isn't defined by never failing, but by the willingness to keep moving forward, despite the setbacks, despite the missteps. She learns from every failure and uses it as a stepping stone towards something greater. At the heart of risk-taking is the ability to trust the process, even when the outcome is uncertain. A smart woman doesn't need to have everything figured out before she moves. She doesn't need to know exactly how things will turn out. Instead, she trusts that every decision she makes is part of the bigger picture, even when that picture isn't clear yet. She knows that every risk, every challenge, and every uncertainty is an opportunity to build resilience, to develop problem-solving skills, and to cultivate a deeper belief in her own abilities. The beauty of taking risks is that it forces her to confront the limitations she's placed on herself. It's easy to believe that we're not capable of something because we've never tried it, or because others have told us it's too difficult. But when she steps out and takes that first step, whether it's pursuing a dream, starting a business, or having a difficult conversation, she learns just how capable she truly is. The woman who is willing to take risks discovers the strength and potential she never knew she had, and in doing so, she breaks through the barriers that once held her back. Taking risks also means being willing to face uncertainty with grace. Life doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes things don't work out the way she envisioned, and that's okay. What matters is that she keeps moving forward, keeps pushing, keeps believing in herself and her ability to adapt. Every risk she takes, whether it ends in success or failure, teaches her something invaluable about herself and the world around her. It strengthens her character, expands her horizons, and opens doors she never thought possible. Ultimately, a smart woman knows that without taking risks, she will never fully experience the life she's meant to live. She'll never know what she's capable of, never reach the heights she's destined for, and never fully embrace the potential that lies within her. But when she dares to take risks, when she steps into the unknown with faith and confidence, she unlocks the door to endless possibilities. And that ultimately is where her true power lies, knowing that she can face whatever comes her way. Because she has the courage to risk it all for the chance to live a life of fulfillment, growth, and boundless potential. A smart woman knows that her worth is not determined by the approval or validation of others. In a world where opinions are abundant and judgments are often quick, she understands that seeking external validation is a trap that leads to a lifetime of insecurity and doubt. She's learned to look inward, to trust her own sense of value, and to know that she doesn't need anyone's approval to know who she is or what she's capable of. There's a quiet strength in self-assurance. When you know who you are, when you're certain of your worth, the noise of the world fades into the background. You stop seeking constant reassurance, because you're secure in your own skin. A smart woman doesn't seek to please everyone. She knows that some people will like her, some won't, and that's perfectly fine. The validation she seeks is from within, not from the fleeting opinions of others. It's a freeing realization, one that allows her to stand tall and unwavering, regardless of external circumstances. This doesn't mean that she shuts herself off from constructive feedback or the wisdom of others. Rather, it means that she doesn't rely on others to define her or to dictate her self-worth. She is open to learning, to growing, and to improving. But she never compromises her sense of self in the process. She understands that the opinions of others are just that, opinions, and they don't have to dictate the course of her life. Their words may inform her, but they do not define her. She knows that the only opinion that truly matters is her own. For a smart woman, self-validation is a powerful tool. It comes from recognizing her own accomplishments, celebrating her own progress, and honoring her journey. She doesn't wait for others to recognize her worth because she already knows it. This self-assurance comes from a place of deep understanding. She's been through struggles, she's overcome challenges, and she's learned valuable lessons along the way. Every experience has contributed to her growth, and she sees that as a reflection of her strength and resilience. The act of self-validation is also an act of self-respect. It's acknowledging that she has everything she needs within her to succeed, that her dreams are valid, and that her voice matters. When a woman is secure in herself, she doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. She doesn't need to compare herself to others or compete for attention. She is content with her own journey, knowing that it's uniquely hers. In a world that constantly tells women how they should look, act, or be, a smart woman defies those external pressures. She doesn't let societal expectations dictate her path, she defines it for herself. Self-validation also means embracing imperfections. A smart woman understands that no one is perfect, and she doesn't expect herself to be. She's aware of her flaws and accepts them as part of who she is. Instead of criticizing herself for her mistakes, she learns from them. Instead of seeking validation to feel good about herself, she chooses to embrace her imperfections as opportunities for growth. This doesn't mean that she doesn't strive for better, it means that she doesn't attach her self-worth to a perfect version of herself. She values the journey, not the end result, because she understands that growth and self-discovery are ongoing processes. By no means does this mean that she's isolated from the world or that she doesn't value relationships with others. She knows that true connections are built on mutual respect, understanding, and admiration. But the difference is that her happiness, her fulfillment, and her sense of self are not dependent on anyone else's approval. She knows that when she's secure in who she is, the relationships she cultivates will be authentic, because she's attracting people who love her for who she genuinely is, not for some version of herself she's trying to project. Ultimately, a smart woman understands that seeking validation from others is an endless cycle that will never truly fulfill her. It might bring temporary satisfaction, but it will never bring lasting peace or happiness. The peace she seeks comes from within, from knowing that she is enough, just as she is. The strength she has comes from understanding that her worth is not for sale, not up for negotiation, and not dependent on anyone else's approval. It's a quiet, powerful knowing that she is worthy, deserving, and capable, and nothing in the world can take that away from her. When she embraces this truth, she becomes free from the need for validation, free from the constant seeking of approval, and free to live her life authentically and fully. This is the true power of self-validation, the ability to stand in your truth, to honor your journey, and to know deep down that you are enough. In this place, no one's opinion can ever shake her foundation, because she is anchored in her own worth. And that, more than anything, is the greatest form of freedom. A smart woman knows that her time is valuable. In a world filled with distractions, demands, and endless to-do lists, she understands that how she spends her time is one of the most important choices she makes. Every minute is a reflection of her priorities, and she is conscious of the fact that time once lost can never be regained. So she doesn't waste it on things, people, or situations that don't serve her growth, her peace, or her purpose. She is intentional with how she allocates her time, understanding that the way she invests it now will shape her future. Time is often seen as the one resource that we can't control, the one thing that moves relentlessly forward no matter what we do. But the truth is, while we cannot control time itself, we can control how we use it. A smart woman understands that it's not about finding more time, but about being more deliberate with the time she has. She doesn't fall into the trap of rushing through life, checking off tasks for the sake of checking them off. Instead, she asks herself what matters most right now. She chooses to invest her time in ways that align with her values and her long-term goals, understanding that each decision is a building block of the life she's creating. She knows that time isn't just about doing, it's about being present in the moment, fully engaged in whatever she's doing, whether it's working, learning, or simply spending time with loved ones. A smart woman doesn't allow her mind to wander off to the next thing while she's in the middle of something important. She gives her full attention to what's in front of her, and in doing so, she maximizes her time and her impact. This doesn't mean she has to be constantly busy or productive in the traditional sense. Sometimes the most valuable way to spend time is to simply rest, recharge, or reflect. She knows that time spent on self-care and reflection is never time wasted. It's essential for her well-being and her continued growth. Moreover, a smart woman understands that time is a powerful tool for self-discipline. It's easy to get caught up in the trivial things, to let moments slip by without purpose, especially in a world that encourages constant distraction. But she doesn't let the noise of the world take her focus away from what's important. She learns to say no to the things that don't add value to her life. She doesn't entertain drama or unnecessary conflict. She doesn't allow other people's agendas to dictate her schedule. Her time is hers, and she protects it fiercely. She knows that the more she is able to protect her time, the more space she creates for what truly matters: her goals, her dreams, and the people who matter most to her. It's also important to understand that a smart woman doesn't expect to be perfect in managing her time. She knows there will be days when things don't go according to plan, when distractions creep in, or when she's simply exhausted. But even in those moments, she doesn't beat herself up. She accepts that life is fluid, that sometimes the best way to spend time is to acknowledge when rest is needed. Flexibility is key. She understands that how she manages her time is a work in progress, and the goal is progress, not perfection. She also knows that effective time management is about having a clear vision of what she wants to achieve. When she has a purpose, when she has a strong sense of direction, she can avoid the temptation to waste time on things that don't contribute to that vision. A smart woman doesn't fill her schedule with busy work. She's strategic about where she places her energy. She makes sure that her time is spent on activities that move her closer to her goals, whether it's furthering her career, nurturing meaningful relationships, or pursuing a passion project. She knows that every moment she spends is an investment in the future she's creating, so she chooses wisely. But time management is also about understanding that life can't be planned down to the last second. There will be interruptions, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. A smart woman understands this and doesn't let the unpredictability of life throw her off course. She adjusts when needed, recalibrating her priorities and managing her energy in a way that keeps her moving forward, no matter the circumstances. Flexibility in the face of change is one of her greatest strengths. The ultimate understanding she has about time is this: it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. It's about being present, being intentional, and being fully engaged in whatever she's doing. Every day is an opportunity to make choices that will shape her future. A smart woman recognizes that, and she uses her time with purpose, clarity, and an unwavering commitment to her growth, her goals, and her legacy. She doesn't waste time, she invests it. And in doing so, she crafts a life that is rich in meaning, fulfillment, and the peace that comes from knowing she is making the most of the time she's been given. A smart woman understands the importance of surrounding herself with the right people. She knows that the people she chooses to keep close in her life can either lift her up or hold her back, and she chooses wisely. She understands that the relationships she nurtures have a profound impact on her mindset, her growth, and ultimately the direction her life takes. She doesn't simply accept anyone into her circle. She is discerning about who she allows in, recognizing that not all company is equal. A smart woman knows that true friendships, partnerships, and relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and shared values. She doesn't entertain toxicity or negativity. She won't waste her energy on people who drain her, criticize her, or make her feel small. Instead, she seeks out individuals who challenge her to be better, who encourage her to grow, and who support her unconditionally. A woman who understands her worth also understands that she deserves to be surrounded by people who uplift her, who believe in her potential, and who celebrate her successes. These are the people who show up not just in the good times but in the hard times as well. They're the ones who offer wisdom, lend a listening ear, and provide strength when she needs it most. They don't compete with her or undermine her. Instead, they elevate her, pushing her toward her best self. These relationships are built on a foundation of love, trust, and respect, and they are invaluable. She also knows that being selective about her circle doesn't mean she isolates herself. It doesn't mean cutting people off at the first sign of conflict or discomfort. Instead, it means choosing quality over quantity. She cultivates deep, meaningful connections with people who add value to her life. She doesn't waste time trying to please everyone or force relationships that don't align with her values or her vision. She understands that time is too precious to spend on people who don't contribute to her well-being or her growth. A smart woman also recognizes the power of surrounding herself with people who share her vision or inspire her to discover hers. Whether it's mentors, friends, colleagues, or family, she gravitates toward those who are passionate, driven, and have their own sense of purpose. She understands that being around ambitious, goal-oriented individuals can only push her further. These people show her what's possible, and in turn they motivate her to go after her own dreams with the same drive and determination. Yet she also knows that not everyone will understand her journey. Not everyone will agree with the path she chooses, and not everyone will be supportive of her decisions. But a smart woman doesn't let that deter her. She knows that not everyone is meant to walk with her, and that's okay. She lets go of relationships that no longer serve her, that no longer align with her values, or that bring her more stress than support. She's willing to make the tough calls to distance herself from individuals who don't have her best interests at heart, even if it means being alone for a while. She understands that this kind of personal growth often requires solitude. It requires stepping away from people who hold you back, and at times letting go of relationships that have been a part of your life for a long time. But the space she creates by letting go of the wrong people is space for the right ones to come in. She knows that this isn't a loss, it's a gain. It's the process of making room for the people who will add value to her life, who will help her grow, and who will be there for her in ways that truly matter. A smart woman knows that every relationship is an investment. She doesn't just give her time and energy to anyone. She makes sure that the people she surrounds herself with are people who bring positivity, strength, and support into her life. She cultivates an environment that nurtures her growth, her dreams, and her well-being. These are the people who will encourage her when she's feeling down, who will push her when she feels stuck, and who will stand by her no matter the circumstance. But beyond that, a smart woman understands that the relationships she builds are not just about what others can do for her, they're about what she can offer as well. She knows that in order to receive, she must give. She invests in others with the same care, respect, and love that she desires to receive. She builds a network of people who are not only there for her, but who know that she will be there for them in return. It's a reciprocal exchange, one where both sides benefit, where trust is mutual, and where growth is encouraged on both ends. Ultimately, the right people shape her reality. They influence her thoughts, her actions, and the very way she sees the world. A smart woman recognizes the immense power of her circle, and she ensures that it's filled with people who help her become the best version of herself. She's intentional about who she keeps close because she knows that the right people can change everything. They can help her achieve greatness, challenge her to rise above her limits, and give her the strength she needs when the road gets tough. By surrounding herself with the right people, A smart woman ensures that she's not walking her journey alone, but that she's walking it with a team of individuals who will help her navigate the challenges, celebrate the victories, and create a life that is rich with meaning and purpose. A smart woman understands that success, true success, is not something that's handed to her. It is something she must work for, earn, and protect. She knows that success requires more than just talent or opportunity. It requires grit, determination, and a commitment to pushing through even when the path gets difficult. She isn't afraid to put in the effort, the late nights, the sacrifices, and the work necessary to turn her dreams into reality. For her, success is not a destination, it's a journey, one that demands persistence, resilience, and a deep belief in her ability to achieve greatness. She understands that success is a personal endeavor, and it cannot be measured by the expectations of others. The world may have its own ideas of what success looks like: status, wealth, or recognition, but she knows that these things don't define her. For her, success is deeply personal. It's about living a life that aligns with her values, her dreams, and her purpose. It's about feeling fulfilled and knowing that the work she does is meaningful. The pursuit of success is not just about what she achieves on the outside, but about the person she becomes in the process, the strength she builds, the resilience she develops, and the wisdom she gains. This pursuit isn't easy, and a smart woman doesn't expect it to be. She understands that there will be setbacks, failures, and challenges along the way. But instead of seeing these as obstacles, she sees them as lessons. She understands that failure is not a reflection of her worth or her potential. It is simply a stepping stone, a part of the process. When things don't go according to plan, she doesn't give up or quit. She reevaluates, learns from her mistakes, and adjusts her approach. She doesn't let fear of failure stop her. She uses it as fuel to propel her forward, knowing that each setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. A smart woman knows that the road to success is often long and filled with uncertainties. There are no guarantees, no promises that things will work out as planned. But she doesn't shy away from this reality. She embraces it. She knows that the only certainty she has is her effort, her persistence, and her willingness to keep going, even when the road is tough. She doesn't let doubt or fear of the unknown paralyze her. She steps into the uncertainty with courage and confidence, trusting that each step forward brings her closer to her goals, no matter how far off they may seem. She also understands that success doesn't come from doing things in isolation. It's built through collaboration, learning from others, and being open to new ideas. A smart woman surrounds herself with a network of individuals who challenge her, support her, and offer valuable perspectives. She knows that she doesn't have all the answers, and that's okay. She's not afraid to ask for help when needed, to seek guidance from mentors, or to collaborate with others who have expertise in areas where she may not. She understands that success is not a solitary achievement. It's the result of collective effort, mutual support, and learning from the wisdom of those who've come before her. At the same time, she knows that success requires discipline. It's about doing the hard work even when it's not glamorous, even when no one is watching. A smart woman doesn't wait for motivation to strike, she creates it. She builds habits, structures her day, and organizes her life in ways that ensure she remains focused and productive. She doesn't wait for the perfect moment to start, nor does she waste time second-guessing herself. She takes action, even when the conditions aren't ideal, knowing that action is what creates momentum. Success also requires resilience, the ability to keep going when things get tough. A smart woman knows that challenges are inevitable. She will face moments of doubt, exhaustion, and frustration. But she has learned the art of resilience. She understands that resilience is not about never falling down. It's about how quickly she gets back up when she does. It's about finding the strength to keep pushing forward, even when the weight of the world seems too heavy. She learns to handle pressure and to thrive in adversity. She knows that the most successful people aren't the ones who have never faced challenges, but the ones who have faced them head-on and emerged stronger. A smart woman also understands the importance of balance. She knows that success doesn't mean sacrificing her health, her relationships, or her peace of mind. She works hard, but she also takes time to rest and recharge. She knows that in order to sustain her efforts over the long term, she must take care of herself physically, emotionally, and mentally. She makes time for things that bring her joy, for activities that replenish her energy, and for people who remind her of what truly matters. She understands that success isn't worth having if it comes at the cost of her well-being. Ultimately, a smart woman understands that success is a reflection of her own efforts and choices. It's not something that is given to her by the world, it's something she creates for herself. It's about showing up each day, doing the work, and staying committed to her vision, no matter the obstacles in her way. Success is about persistence, discipline, resilience, and the unwavering belief that she is capable of achieving whatever she sets her mind to. It's about knowing that her success is in her hands and she has the power to make it a reality. A smart woman understands the immense value of self-belief. She knows that belief in herself is the foundation upon which everything else is built. If she doesn't believe in her abilities, in her worth, in her dreams, then no amount of external validation, praise, or encouragement will matter. She knows that true confidence comes from within, and it's something she nurtures and cultivates every single day. Self-belief doesn't come from a place of arrogance or superiority, but from a deep understanding of her own potential. A smart woman doesn't need to compare herself to others or compete with them to feel validated. She knows that her value isn't determined by how she measures up against someone else. It's not about being the best in the room, it's about knowing that she's enough, just as she is. She is aware of her strengths, her talents, and the unique qualities that make her who she is. And when she faces challenges, as we all do, she draws on this belief to remind herself that she has what it takes to overcome them. However, self-belief isn't a constant state. It requires ongoing work, self-reflection, and at times a shift in mindset. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when she faces setbacks, or when things don't go as planned. In those moments, a smart woman doesn't let self-doubt define her. She knows that failure or difficulty doesn't negate her worth. She understands that setbacks are a part of the journey, and that they don't diminish her capabilities. She doesn't wallow in negative thoughts or allow fear to keep her from moving forward. Instead, she recognizes the thoughts of doubt for what they are: temporary, and she chooses to reframe them with the power of positive self-talk. She speaks to herself with kindness, reminding herself of her abilities, her achievements, and the strength she has within her. A smart woman also understands that self-belief is not something that comes overnight. It's built through consistent actions, through stepping out of her comfort zone, and through proving to herself, time and again, that she is capable. She doesn't wait for others to believe in her before she believes in herself. She takes ownership of her dreams and her journey. She knows that no one else is responsible for her success or happiness. While she values the support and encouragement of others, she doesn't rely on it to validate her worth or her capabilities. Moreover, self-belief is not static, it evolves. A smart woman understands that as she grows and gains new experiences, her belief in herself must grow along with it. Each new accomplishment, each challenge overcome, each lesson learned becomes another building block of her self-confidence. She doesn't hold herself back from new opportunities because she fears failure or uncertainty. Instead, she embraces these opportunities as chances to further strengthen her belief in what she can achieve. She sees growth not as a destination, but as a continuous process. With each new chapter, she knows that she is capable of handling whatever comes next. Self-belief also means trusting her instincts and intuition. A smart woman knows that within her lies the wisdom and the answers she needs to navigate life's complexities. While she seeks advice and guidance from others, she knows that the final decisions must come from her own inner compass. She trusts herself to make the right choices, even when the path is unclear, and even when others may not understand her decisions. Her self-belief gives her the courage to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to act in alignment with her vision, regardless of external opinions. This belief in herself also extends to her understanding that her worth is not conditional. A smart woman does not tie her self-esteem to her accomplishments or the approval of others. While she takes pride in her achievements, she knows that her value is inherent. She does not feel the need to prove herself to anyone, nor does she seek validation in external success. Her belief is grounded in the understanding that she is enough, regardless of the accolades or recognition she receives. She is worthy simply because she exists, and that belief gives her the confidence to pursue her dreams without fear of judgment or failure. Furthermore, a smart woman recognizes that the process of building and maintaining self-belief requires self-care and self-compassion. She understands that when she takes care of her mental, emotional, and physical well-being, she is reinforcing her belief in her worth. She doesn't let negative self-talk, societal pressures, or the opinions of others dictate how she sees herself. She creates boundaries, prioritizes her needs, and invests in her personal growth. When she falls short or makes mistakes, she doesn't berate herself. Instead, she practices kindness and patience, knowing that mistakes are part of the human experience. Self-belief doesn't require perfection, it requires self-acceptance, resilience, and a willingness to keep moving forward. A smart woman also knows that self-belief is not about avoiding fear, it's about moving forward despite it. Fear is a natural part of any new venture, and it can be paralyzing if you let it. But a woman with self-belief understands that fear doesn't define her. She doesn't let fear stop her from pursuing her dreams. She acknowledges it, feels it, and then moves past it. She understands that fear is often a sign that she's pushing the boundaries of her comfort zone, and that's exactly where growth happens. So she steps forward anyway, trusting in her ability to handle whatever challenges come her way. Ultimately, self-belief is the key to unlocking her full potential. It is the driving force behind her success, her growth, and her happiness. A smart woman knows that when she believes in herself, there is nothing she cannot accomplish. The belief she has in her own abilities is what propels her through life, giving her the courage to take risks, the strength to persevere, and the clarity to make choices that align with her purpose. She knows that this belief is her greatest asset, and she holds on to it fiercely, knowing that it is the foundation upon which she will continue to build a life that is true to her, a life that is worth living. And to all the smart women out there, live by these rules, and you won't just survive, you'll thrive. The world needs your light. Don't dim it for anyone.